Driving towards Malaga from Ronda, we're up in the mountains, headed towards Costa del Sol. Here we can see a golf course in the foreground. So I decided to go to Malaga to drop my car off. I didn't really plan on coming here, and so I didn't have a lot of preparation. So a lot of this was, so to speak, on the fly. Probably the biggest feature here would be the Catedral de Malaga, which isn't particularly old compared to other historic sites in Spain. This is more 16th century Renaissance style. I mean, Malaga is kind of a neat little town that's fairly large. I think it's a number 6 largest in Spain. So we're not talking about a little town. This is a pretty big city, which also, by the way, I decided to drop my car off here because it was a larger city and had more resources. But a word of caution, I had to pay a taxi cab driver to help me find the location. That's a bullfighting rink, by the way. Because it's in a historic building. They couldn't put signage on it, and unless you're from Malaga, you're not going to know where the heck the car rental return place is. So this is from the Alcazaba, and again, Alcazaba from the Moor times would be a fortress looking over the city, probably a great viewpoint if you want to get a perspective of the city and what we're looking at. So the Phoenicians would have also probably established some type of a fort here 3,000 years ago, and this would have been modified by Romans, the Visigoths, and Moors. Again, I would say that there's probably been a tremendous amount of restoration done on the fort here, and even though it looks pretty good shape, this is not how they found it. It generally speaking, takes a lot of restoration to bring these things where they can be sort of a historical site that people are going to want to come and visit and look at. So yeah, Malaga would have been very important in terms of trade because it had access to the ocean. This would have been a very good protected site. So they would have had some good defenses in place and would have extracted resources from this area. So at 711 AD, the Moors invaded Spain. So for 800 years, they had their rule. Well, again, a lovely palace/fortress. Earlier, before the Moors, this would have been part of the Roman Republic, 218 BC, so well before the Moors ever arrived. And so the Visigoths would have conquered the Romans. So I read someplace that Malaga is the hometown, the birthplace of Picasso, but I thought it was Barcelona. I mean, they've got a museum in Barcelona for Picasso, so it's almost as if every bloody town has got a Picasso museum and Picasso was born there. But I think probably realistically this was his home birth, town of home birth, and Barcelona was the studio. I think by the time I got to Malaga, I've seen enough Pablo museums throughout all of these. Every single town seems to have a Picasso exhibit, so I got kind of burnt out, and I had a limited amount of time, so I didn't really go to see it. But apparently it's a big deal, so if you are a Picasso buff, you're going to want to go see it. Nice incorporation of water feature into the castle. So this area would have fallen to the Christians in 1487. This is a fairly large complex, as you can see. It's a bit of huff and a puff to get up to the top if you're going to walk it from downtown. It's a relatively steep grade coming up to the castle. Malaga is the capital in the province of Malaga. Currently about 600,000 people in Malaga. Again, sixth largest in Spain, metropolitan area in Spain. The other structure of larger significance is going to be the cathedral, which is a 16th century Renaissance, so newer than most of the cathedrals that we've looked at. The Alcazaba does give you almost a 360-degree view of all around the city. And also directly below the Alcazaba is a Roman theater. I have a still of it, a photograph, but I don't have it in video form. But it's directly below, down the hill from it. So we can see a very active history. There's the theater, the Roman theater. Some downtown scenes of the old town. And again, this is somewhat more modern, 1600s, versus some of the older cities in Spain. Nice wide avenida. Cute city hall. So again, here's the Picasso Museum. I never made it there. You really have to be a fan. I think I get most of his important works are in the bigger, well-known museums. So this is the Colomares Castle. I didn't go to see it. I didn't even know it existed. It's a tribute to Christopher Columbus. It's slightly just outside of town. They consider it to be in Malaga, but I would definitely make my way to see that castle. And it was built much more contemporary, 1987 to 1984. So this is on the beach, the harbor. It has a lovely, very wide street. I'm not showing it in this video, that leads you down to the beach, palm-covered avenida. And this is going to be an active port. Oh, I thought that was Joe Biden at first, but it was just some Muppets. The expressions on the kids are priceless. They've got the imagination. This is fairly late in the day. Malaga, also the hometown of Antonio Banderas, the Spanish actor. Don't believe he lives here, but he lives up or down the coast in a more prestigious town. I mean, so this is a beach area. So, I mean, there are beaches here, active beaches, and people clearly come down to swim. I was here near the end of the day, so it looked like everybody had cleared out. This is still summer. I mean, this is, I was probably here early first part of October, and the sun is just setting. So another feature, this Camino del Rey, I didn't get to see it. I didn't even know it existed until I started doing my research for Malaga. So I think this is something that you might be very excited to go and see. Thanks for watching.